Start recording. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday already. Can you believe it's the middle of the week? See, that's what happens. Good morning. That's what happens, isn't it? Middle of the week. But when you have a bank holiday, the middle of the week shunts a little bit closer. All good though. All good. Lovely sunny day here in the southeast of England. How about you? Everybody happy? Everybody in the warm? Yeah? You all right? Where are you? Where are you? Nobody here yet? Oh, sound is good. Good morning. So glad to see. It's always nice when you see a few familiar faces popping in. Do you remember back years and years ago? It just reminded me. We used to, used to go to the pub and then you'd have a party at the house. I don't know if you remember this, but nobody ever turned up to the party until the pub shut. So you'd be sitting there with your sausage rolls and your pineapples on sticks. Do you remember? And or maybe it was just us. And you'd have taken all the furniture out and put it all in the garage to make room for the dancing. And then you'd be waiting, thinking, well, it's 11:15 now, surely. Somebody's got to turn up and the music could be blaring and it'd be you and your mum and dad waiting. And then, boom, the doors would open and they'd all turn up, half cut and happy. Those were the days, my friend. Do you remember, or is it just me? Come on in. Yeah, I don't drink now. Could have a lot to do with that. I did it all at that end of my life. That's okay. My eyesight's better for it. Come on in. Stop larking about, Gray. Come on, hands up. Who used to have parties like that? Who used to have parties like that? It wasn't only the Greys, was it? They were good. They were the best. But today we're doodling and we're in the SHAC. How life changes. Even in the last year, isn't it? Crazy how it changes. I know. Come on in, grab a seat. It is what it is, as they say. It's all right. My stiff talking to myself about staying in the now is certainly working. It really is. It really is. Cool as a cucumber. Cool as a cucumber. I've already nailed the 6 o'clock on Friday night, Josie's amazing diagonal grids. Josie, if you're watching, I've nailed it. Josie did all the work, but you still have to get your head around it, don't you? You have to work out. You can't sell something unless you know what it tastes like, I don't think. Anyway, really clever. Very, very clever and so easy to use. Yeah, so that'll be fun. What's the time? 10 o'clock already. Good morning. Come on in. Welcome to this party, the SHAC. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. Yeah, good to have your company. Good to have your company. And we're colouring this week and we're on the eagles, birds of a feather and all that. And so I thought we'd stick with the eagles, if that's okay with you. Our good friend Stuart is in the building with you, so if you have any questions, do direct them at him. And I will, as I'm going through, because I know that you probably want to know which colours I'm going to use, even though if I say light grey, dark grey, it doesn't, for some of you that's fine, but for some of you, you want to know exactly what grey. I get that. I get that. I do. I really do. And so as I reach for the different colours, I'll mention their names, if that's okay. They're all polychromos because they're all kind of grayscale. And the polychromos, we do sell the big tins. Look, I'll show you. We do sell these great big tins of 60. But there we are. See? We've got our tins and they've got they've got 2 layers, and all my grey ones, they're all in this area here. But of course I've taken them out because I'm using them. They're here. However, we also, because so many of you got pergoliners, and I kept saying, well, you know, it's pants really, because the pergoliners are brilliant, but And they're watercolour as well. Half of them was 20 of them are watercolour and 16 of them are like the polychromos. But there's no greys in there. And I said, well, that's no good to man nor beast. So what we did was we put together a little set of 12 polychromos that have got loads of greys and neutral colours in them. So that's what you could also get if you've got the pergoliners and you just want the greys, because we use them all the time, you know, for drop shadows, not just for eagles. We use them all the time, don't we, for drop shadows as well and all sorts. So this is where we're going. Happy with that? And we're using our polychromos, either from the big set or from the little polychromo set. That's what we're going to do. I'm into this. You can use a pencil. Come on. Don't make excuses and say, oh, I can't join in because I haven't got any polychromos. Go on, get your HB pencils out. A bit of shading. It's good for the eyes. Okay. Do you know, I have to tell you, yesterday evening, I was looking at Facebook and I was looking at all your lovely work. I'd just done an hour on my eagle because I thought, oh, I want to know, you know, I want to be a little bit ahead of the game, being the bus driver and all that. And then and I was really pleased with my eagle. I thought, yeah, happy with that. Happy with the way the feathers turned out, you know. Yeah, really pleased, comfortable, mission accomplished, know what I'm doing the following day, went indoors, sat down and had a look at Facebook, as you do, and somebody had posted an exquisite picture of a cat that had been done with pencils. And I looked at it and it was amazing, like amazing, phenomenal, right? And I looked at it and I thought, wow, that is talent, okay? Didn't think anything of it. And then Gracie called me. We were FaceTiming. And prior to looking at that cat, I'd sent her a picture of my eagles, showing her what we're doing in the SHAC today. Because Grace and I, every day we chat. She's in New York, but thank God for FaceTime. It's like she's in the kitchen, okay? And so she said, cool, Mum. You know, when she FaceTimed, she said, your eagles are fantastic, really brilliant. And my immediate response was, no, they're pretty average, Grace. And she said, what? And I said, well, they're pretty mediocre, average. That was what came out of my mouth. And she said, what are you talking about? They're fantastic. And I said, She said, let me colour in the eagles and then we'll do a comparison, shall we? And that's when it hit me, what I'd done. I'd compared mine with the lady who drew the cat. And straight away, I thought of you. Because I thought, I understand, you know, it's not you, it's all of us. You know, it's rubbish, isn't it? You think you're doing really well, and then you look at someone else's and you think, maybe I'm not doing so well. And that's what we, as a group, we have to stop doing that. And that's why this is my word today. Fantastic. There you go. So you heard it from me too. You're not alone. You know, I see it on Facebook. I see you and you say, oh, mine is rubbish. You know, mine is rubbish. And, you know, and then other people, naysayers, say, oh, just attention seeking, she just wants a compliment. Do you know what? I understand when you say mine is rubbish. It comes from a very, very deep-seated, self-deprecating, low, no self-esteem place. I get it. But we can't do that to ourselves. Okay? Your work is fantastic. It is. And the more you do, the more fantastic it will get. And that's a fact. So don't do the cat trick like I did. It's not good for the head, and it's certainly not good for the soul. Right. And it does, it runs so deep, doesn't it? It runs so blimming deep. Mad. Absolutely mad. And you're looking at this thinking, well, she's obviously unhinged, because it is fantastic. But it depends. If you compare, that's why we can't compare. We mustn't compare. It's rubbish to do so. It's not right. We are our own worst enemies when it comes to this stuff. But you know what? Birds of a feather. I do it, you do it. Most of you do it, don't we? And so we just have to get over that and say, there are always going to be better people than us. Good Lord. That would be weird if I was the best in the world. I wouldn't want to be the best in the world, because then that'd be a hell of a reputation to uphold, wouldn't it? But if I'm happy with this, then that's surely good enough. And if there's a lady out there that can draw amazing cats, well, good for her. Good for her. And I wish I could draw cats like that, but I can't. But I can draw birds like this. Okay? So, shall we carry on? And I'm sorry I got all overwhelmed. I understand. Right. So, I was thinking we'd go to this bird here. Should we go to this one? Because we did a little bit round there, didn't we? And I thought, well, let's go again. Have you done this one yet? But I thought it'd be really good, because repetition, I'll tell you another thing, right? Repetition, repeat. Repetition is brilliant for learning, I tell you. It so is. Shall we come in a bit closer? Come on then. God, that caught me out. I didn't expect to cry about a blooming cat woman. Right. Okay. It's not about her, it's about my own insecurities. There you go. And I bet most of you get me. I wonder how many people have given up in the SHAC because they just don't think they're good enough. Isn't it a shame? Or don't. Don't do that to yourselves. Because when you give up, you're definitely not going to get better. Right, okay, should we go for this one? The first thing we're going to do is take our warm grey number 2, okay? Let's take warm grey number 2, and why don't we just put a little strokes like this. There we go. Let's do the head. Have you already done it? There we go. Nice. Right, that wasn't too hard, was it? I think we need to come in a bit closer, personally. Let's have a look so you can see better. Warm grey number 2. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see what I'm doing, can't you? Okay. Repetition. Have you already done all 3 eagles, have you? Mrs. Keane? There you go. So we've done that bit. And then I would say, just because I can, I'm going to go for the ivory one. Or white. If you haven't got ivory, go for white. Right? And then we'll just add a little flash. But I'm adding... See, what I'm doing is, these ivory ones, or the white ones, or the light grey ones, they're gonna create a kind of a resist. You'll see. Let's add a little bit through here as well. And you may say, well, we're not learning anything here because we already did this once. We've already done this here. And I would say, we'll stick with the plan and we'll do this one again. And then when we've done that, we'll move over to the wings, okay? The back. Now, let's have a look. Light grey. Oh, I'll tell you what I do need is a little bit of copy paper underneath so that I can check. Now, what have I got here? Warm grey 4. Warm grey 4. Stuart will make a note. He'll write it down for you if you want to know. Now let's have a look. We want to go warm grey 4, but we're gonna sweep through the top like that. Let's do this. Let's do this. And then when we've done a little bit of this, we'll go to the eyes. Should we have another go at the eye? So key, isn't it, the eye? Keen as well, the old eagle eye. Let's do that. Right. There we go. You know, over the years, I've done workshops with ladies and men, gents, ladies and gents, where people have run out of the room in floods, just so uptight about not being able to do what the task was, you know. And I think we've got to park that. We've got to park that pressure. That is just, and I did it to myself last night. But subliminally, it's so, I didn't think it consciously, but it came out when I was speaking to Gracie. Isn't that mad? So if I'm aware of that, that's in there, and it's very, very, obviously, it's quite powerful inside me for me to suddenly, it's just too much, really. I think, well, if it's in me, it's in a lot of other people too. So maybe we just need to not feed it. There you go. Let's not feed that. That's a sort of a negative energy that we really don't want to feed anymore. How's that sound? I reckon I'll add that to my list of things not to do anymore. It's an energy thing. See how we're creating there? See, so you use these bits here and you just flash up through there like that. You know, I think, to be honest, we should be proud of ourselves for even having a go and to be posting our work on Facebook and doing it publicly, you know, and just, you know, being proud of our accomplishments. That's it, isn't it? You know, it's so vital that we do that. You know, be glad. You know, there is an old adage, isn't there? He who has never made a mistake has probably never made anything. And there's a lot to be, I think there's a lot in there as well, you know. People that criticise. I get a lot of criticism. You don't know about it. I get a lot of stick privately, people telling me what their opinion of me. You know, that runs deep sometimes, but I don't give it energy. So I think, well, you know, opinions are like noses, everyone's got one. But it'd be waffle if I said that it didn't affect me. Of course it does. You know, you think about those people that are, you know, when they do plays or musicians or films and they get absolutely slammed. My heart goes out to them. I think, oh, because they did the best they could, didn't they? Hey? Right, that'll do for the moment. We won't go too dark. Want that lovely down around the top. Cool, we do put ourselves through it, don't we? Right, there you go. So we've got a nice feathery down along the top there. Done that. Still, you see the difference? Look, see, we haven't gone in with the darker greys yet. It's layer on layer on layer, isn't it? Shall I have a go at the eye? Let's do the eye, because that is the one, isn't it? Let's do the eye. I'm going to use the same colour, I think. Let me just sharpen it. Slowly does it. I need to empty my sharpener. Oh! Do you cry easily? I just cry at the drop of the hat. I think I've always been like that, though. It wouldn't be right to say, oh, it's because of everything that's going on. No, it's not. I was born like this. It's just the way I am. Grace, last night when we were talking, she She's a scream. Right, come on. Do you remember this bit? We said that this is going to be... Right, now, let's do the pupil. This is the bit at the front, isn't it? So we're going to use this like crescent moon to add the pupil there, like so. Whoa, he looks a bit... And then we'll leave a bit of white like that. There. That's cheering me up. That's cheering me up. Right, so we'll leave a bit of white there. And then we'll come round the bottom like that. Let's come round here. Right, like so. Yeah. Yeah, soppy sod, I suppose you could call me. And I don't... It was funny yesterday, I was talking to Grace. Let's just do this top now. We're going to leave the eye for a minute and let's just do the eyebrow, this bit over the top. And we're going to take the darker grey now. I'm going to use Payne's Grey, okay? 181. So this is one of the ones that's in that set of 12. It's a good one, Payne's Grey. Right, and then we're just going to flick along that line like so. Really light feathery strokes. Right, let's get that eyebrow. It's a right, because we're going to make him look really serious, because at the moment he looks quite chirpy, doesn't he? We had it yesterday, didn't we? But if we bring this line down, bring the eyelid down over the top like this, that will really... That's it. Look how... Doesn't he look different now? There you go. Happy, not happy. Focused, focused. So we'll do that. Right, round we go. Round there. That's it. Right. Isn't that amazing how you can change it? Right, and then what we're going to do now, let's get in here a bit, because he still looks a little bit too... I think I'm going to bring that eyelid down a bit further. Like that. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Let's take a lighter grey now. What we got here? The warm grey 4. And we'll just go in around the eye a little bit. Let's just come in here like this. Just a little bit of a grey around here, but not so dark. Yeah? Very considered, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Grace so Gracie, she said, because we were always saying, oh, have you seen this film or have you seen that film? And apparently she was watching something on telly and she said to her fella Mark, this is a film. At this point, if Mum was sitting here, she would get up and walk out right now. This would be her limit. Right. I said, well, she said, so I'm not going to recommend that one to you, Mum, because I don't think you'd be able to cope with it. I said, well, that's fine, thank you. Right? Can't remember what it was called, something craft or something. She said it was all about racial tension, and anyway, she said, it's not your cup of tea, Mum, don't go there. So I said, I can recommend something to you, though, that I watched on Bank Holiday Monday. It was brilliant, and it happened after the news, and I wasn't even planning it, but it was absolutely fantastic. She said, what was that? I said, Paddington, as in Paddington Bear. I said, it's star-studded. Everybody's in it. Everybody's in it. Julie Walters, Hugh Grant. I said, it's a fantastic film. I hadn't seen it, you see. She said, that just about sums you up. I said, yeah, but the graphics and the art, it was so good. Who's seen it? Who's seen Paddington? Or who watched it on Monday night? It was so good. So good. But it was just comical how she was watching this really gritty, disturbing, she said it was, series. And she decided it was not something for Mother. There you go. It's not something for Mother. That eye's looking good, isn't it? You happy with it? Right, that'll do. So we've got a really good dark eyebrow going there, haven't we? Or you can make him look worse and worse. If you bring that front down, it'll make him look even more beady. Right, beak next. The beaks, it's all in the beak. So we're going to leave a little bit of white. And I know we're repeating what we did yesterday. But do you remember what we said? We agreed, didn't we? That we're going to do a bird at a time, feather at a time. This week, we're going to go easy. Easy does it. And the other thing is, if we do it together, then you haven't got to catch up, have you? You haven't got to go, oh, she's done 3 birds, I've only done 1. You know, not everybody now has the time. A lot of you have to go to work. A lot of you haven't got the time anymore, like Bev. I know. So we won't be able to catch up. So we need to slow down a bit. Now, why is that not working anymore? I've got something stuck in it. Just let me empty my... Oh, no. Right, let's have a look. Okay. Doesn't take long. Do you see how much faster we were at this time on the eagle? For some reason, why is that not sharpening then? That's weird. Ah, shame. Oh yeah, here we go. Isn't it funny? You need to get a bit of a... Okay, now we're on it. Oh, wrong one. That's better. Right. Okay, so we've done, what yellow did I use? I used dark chrome yellow on that one. And now we're going to add a little bit of grey. So I'm going to go with, what have I got here? Warm grey 4, and then I've got warm grey 5. So play it safe. I'm going to go with the lighter one first. You can always add a bit of depth afterwards. And then we're just going to add a bit of shadow underneath that hooky bill. Let's get a bit of shade in under there. There we go. So a little bit of highlight, a little bit of low light, like this. A woman wrote to me the other day and told me that my recipe was rubbish. She said I didn't know what I was talking about and that it wasn't Streuselkuchen, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? I did a blog of one of my mum's best recipes, and it tastes absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I got to write grilling about what I called it, and I didn't know what I was talking about, and blah blah blah. And at first I was like, how dare you, you know? I thought, oh. Then I had to laugh because I thought, cool, wait, if my mum read this, she'd do a nut. She's been making it like that for 70 odd years. You just don't know. You don't know who you're dealing with anymore, do you? Hey? And I have to accept that. If you put yourself out there like this, that's what you're going to get. It's a choice that I have to make, isn't it? But sometimes it's smart, so I've got to be honest. Be weird if it didn't. Hey? Be weird if it didn't, wouldn't it? But your first gut reaction, and it's the same, it's the cat syndrome, the first gut reaction is to run and never pick up a pencil again and never do a blog again and never do this and never, that's the way, my natural default is to run for the hills. I'm probably a lot more introverted than I make out, you know? But there you go. It's the way people are. And who knows what's going on in her life? Who knows? Who knows, eh? She might be really unhappy. Well, she's definitely not happy. That's for sure. Right. So now, I reckon, that's looking pretty good now. What do you think? So I'm going to bring in a bit of depth around here now. Hey? Oh, you have no idea. Yeah, whatever. It's not important. What's important is that we get this eagle right, okay? And we enjoy doing it. And we're happy with it. Yeah. There you go. So we're not comparing our work with anybody else's. This is ours. Okay. Oh, I'm off the page, sorry. There you go. Isn't it lovely what you can do with a couple of pencils, eh? See how dark it's getting now? Darker than that one. Whoa. Cool, you could do speech bubbles, couldn't you? There you go. Come on, let's have a sip of tea. I'll leave it on the picture. Yeah, let's have a cup of tea. Ah, Bisto. Right, so the beak's looking great. Beak certainly looks good. Eye, happy with that. Hey? Don't want to fiddle too much though, Gray, because you know what's going to happen in a minute if you do. Cool. So what I thought we would do, because I did some feathers here. If we look at what I've already done, let's have a look along here. We did some feathers here. I did some feathers along here as well, which are really, really dramatic. So let's have a look at these feathers and then we'll go into the back feathers. So these ones here. So these are the greys that we're going to use. Again, I'm going to go to my warm grey 2. Warm grey 2, yeah? And what we'll do is we'll get a bit of a chisel going. Get a chisel going like that. And then we'll just put a really light coat of warm grey. There you go. Right. That's it. Nice. So we've got our lovely, just an undercoat. Let's call it an undercoat. See? That's all undercoat there. And once we've done that, then we're going to start with the top ones. So we'll go to the next lightest grey, which is going, excuse me, is going to be warm grey 4. And this is where we decide which ones are behind or in front. So if I go in this area here, if you look at them, you can see, let's get a bit of a chisel going because it's quite dark, this one. See, if I come in here, you can see that this is definitely there. You know that sweeping, that we do that, don't we? Let's do that. So we're just going to go along there like that, and then just sort of sculpt along there like that. So then this one, you come in like that, and then just go along there. So that's definitely, see? So you just catch the one, and then you can just do a little bit of a, that's it, like that. So you're going to catch the one that's in front and make a little shadow behind it, and then leave a little white gap. Do you remember the little white gap we were trying to leave? All right, and then this one seems to have gone a bit haywire, so we'll just go around it all together. That'll do. So we're going round there, round there, round there. This one as well, look. See, when you've done it once already and you know where you're going, it's not so bad, is it? See, so you can do that. Let's add a little bit of grey there. What were we watching last night on telly? We both started blubbing, Dave and me. And if you told you what it was, you wouldn't believe it. I'm trying to think. I looked over at Dave and I thought, we're not really crying at this, are we? I think it might have been Paddington. It was. It was. I think it was when he got out of prison and he found his family. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. I think he actually was Paddington. Well, listen, if I can cry at Paddington, there's hope for me yet. Right, so we get a little bit of that going along there. And we've got our, yeah? Do you see what I've done? So we've got that shadow, haven't we? Right, chiselled in there. And we've decided which ones are in front and which ones are behind. That's it. It changes a little bit here and there, but that's okay. Right, so we've done that. Check the difference. Let's have a look at the difference. So you can see the difference is colours. So I'm going to take a light grey now. Let's just take that cold grey, just a light, it's a light one. And I'm just going to add a little bit of, in this area here, just add a little bit of grey in there. Because it's a little bit bland, isn't it? Let's get a bit of feather colour in. That's it. Okay, so we get those colours in. We didn't do much of this yesterday, did we? That's it. So we've got them in. Yeah? That'll work. And while you've got that grey in your hand, just sweep it down on that side of the next feathers coming. See the ones on this side here? Just come down on that side of the feather. That's it. That'll do. Change the colour a bit. Okay, so they're good. They're good. They're good to go. That back's, we're going to do the back a bit differently. Do the back a bit differently. So we've got that colour going now. Right, next colour. So we've gone to the, we've done the 4. Let's go to the 5 now. Let's do the 5. Warm grey 5. It's a number darker. If you haven't got a warm grey 5, get your graphite pencils out. They're the colour you're looking for now. Right, so now what we're going to do, I find it easier to turn so I can see where the shade is, what I'm actually looking at. See, so this is the shade here, and I'm going to come in with a tighter one now. Here we go. And so I'm just checking where the shadow is. Right, hang on a minute, get my eye in. Oh yeah, this is a bit weird on this side. Right, that'll work. And then here, now we're going for it. So there's a little kind of a, come in like that, right, like that, and then a little bit of shadow at the top, in like that, and then sort of scurry across. So you go in, just a little bit tighter than the one before. It's a bit sharper, a little bit blacker. Okay, just get in there. So we're just adding depth. We're adding a darker drop shadow now. Right, that'll work. A little bit of depth along there. Right, see how it's moving now? Right, and then we'll just put a little bit more depth in there. You can use the same pencil. Just add a bit of drop shadow. If you want to make it dark, then you just go to Payne's Grey or a dark graphite pencil. Right, now we've done that, what's missing now is the feather underneath. So what we're looking for now, what have we got here? Warm grey 5. Okay, that'll work. Now we're going for the depth. So we're going for the feathers underneath now, these ones. So what I'd suggest is that you just come along here now and you get in there. See where it's tucked in? So you've just got to get your eye in now really and figure out. See if that's tucked in there, it's going to be quite dark, this bit, isn't it? See? See under here, it's going to be quite dark. So just light feathery strokes, if you'll pardon the expression. Just come in here like that. How are we doing for time? Yeah, we're fine. Be all right. Do you want to hear an interesting, this is funny, this is an interesting eagle factoid, right? So I was looking up what eagles signify and what they symbolise, you know. And, you know, in Native American Indian, they definitely symbolise strength and they're considered to be sacred as well because they fly closest They fly highest and they fly closest to the creator. That's the theory anyway. So they're considered to be sacred. Well, I get that. I get that. Oh, I don't think it's for me. But what I found really interesting, this is funny. Right, let's go to a lighter grey. Let's go to a lighter one. That was the 5. I want to go to this one here. Oh, I've got other colours. I've got loads of different ones. I want to get some of this grey going in here now, right, in this one. So let's just get that depth going underneath there with the lighter grey. Apparently, okay, if you see a sign of an eagle outside a house, it means that the mortgage has been paid. Well, believe you me, there's no eagle outside my house or our house. Not yet. But isn't that, who thought that one up? Yeah, apparently, if you hang an eagle on your home or on your house, it symbolises that you've paid your mortgage off. So when I finish this, when I finish this picture, I'm going to frame it, and then I'm going to wait about another 10 years, and then I'm going to hang it outside. I might have to laminate it because it rains a lot here, and then I'm going to hang it outside on the front door for all to see. Comical, really. So if you're doing this and you're thinking, well, do you know, in that case, I'm going to hang mine in the window. I think it's brilliant. Fantastic. Hang it in the window, eh? Be proud. See, so you go in there and you just get the depth. You see the depth, don't you? And you use the different greys to get in. It doesn't have to be all perfect. It's about lifting these feathers off those feathers. Now, one of the things that I wanted to also say was what looks really nice, and I've done it here. Let's see if you can sharpen the light one. Let's start with the light one, and then we can always go darker. On the feathers here, what we want to do is get a real nice, hang on a minute, that's it, a real nice, yeah, really subtle, okay, like feather marks. If you go in with a really light one, it looks really, really good. I tried it with the F. Really light as well, because you can get this looks super. If you've got a hard pencil, try this, but you want to go really lightly. It's almost that's it. It's so delicate, because otherwise it looks too stripy, right? So really, really lightly. See if you can do it without hardly touching the, yeah, I was pressing too hard there. See? And you go in there like that, and it's really cool. Like that. There, that looks good, doesn't it? So use a really fine pencil, but really, really lightly. And that also creates real brilliant texture. Let me do a couple more and then I'll get in tight, see if you can see it. Okay. Let's have a look. How are you doing with this? Let's come in here and have a look. See if we can... It's these ones here that I've done. Let me just get in as tight as I can. See if you can... Can you see that all right? Yeah? Good. So what we want to do, because it looks too dark, let me show you. If you look here, it looks too dark underneath. It looks like a ledge. So now we need to blend in. You see how these ones are far more blended, aren't they? See? Still see the difference? So what we've got to do now is bring the shadow down more. So once we've got our detail in, feather at a time and all that, see, go in with our detail like this. This is so nice. That'll work really cool. So you come in like that. That look good. And then I think what we'll do is we'll take, what one's this? Warm grey 4. So not the dark one, not 5, 4. And then what we'll do is we'll come in, let's have a look, and we're going to just, oh, let me get a chisel. And we're going to make this, just bring out the shadow, bring it down a little bit further so that it doesn't, there you go. So it doesn't look like a, see? What you're doing is you're just bringing it down a bit more, down. You bring it down the spine if you like, that'll make you, that'll work. You're just getting it away from that edge. See? Just blend in the two. See, that's a bit too extreme. So you just blend in like that. Blend, 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 blend. Like feathery strokes. Oh, sorry. Like feathery strokes like this. Sorry. That's the thing, when you're working so tight, I've got to come down a bit so you can see it. That's it. There we are. Have a look. Nice, eh? Right, and then we'll just tone these ones in a bit. Because they look a little bit too like tombstones, don't they? Or someone's with dodgy teeth. Let's have a look at these. Just tone that in a little bit like that. So a nice neutral grey. Just tone it in a bit. Right, there we go. Just a little bit of a chisel here and there, give it a bit of texture. There we go. Works well. See? So that's what we're doing, is you establish what one's behind what one. See? Straight away, you get in depth. Just get in there and decide who's behind who. And then you do the same again. Just go again to the next layer, one feather at a time, one layer at a time. And then you just start all over again, and then you go again. But you start with lighter colours and then you work your way down so that you end up with a good contrast. You see how the base of these is really light. Now, if you fancy it, you can always go in and add a little bit of ivory. Just a little flick of ivory at the base. What that'll do is it will stop you adding any more greyness, so it won't. See, we just add a bit of ivory here. Then it will just, it acts as a resist almost, doesn't it? On the tips. There we go. There. Now what I wanted to do, because we've still got a little bit of time, what I wanted to show you was the back, because I was looking at the back and I thought I want to get a little bit of different detail on the back. And it's like what we did on the owl with the stippling. Do you remember? So if I get in close, let's see if we can see this. If I get in close, excuse the blur for a moment until it focuses. Right, now I'm going to get in tighter. See if you can see the stippling. Can you see? So it's like diamonds on his back. But instead of shading like we were just now, we're going to use dot, 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 dot. It changes it. And the thing is that I also did a little bit of stippling around here. Around here. So, for example, in this area here, you can take your grey pencil, your lightest grey, and even though you think it's not making any difference, it so is. And you just tone it down. And it takes time, but it changes the texture completely. Now let's have a look at the back. Let's start with a piece that's completely clear, and then we'll do a bit of stippling, because I want to do stippling in this area here. I want to do stippling in this area here, in this area here. Okay, so this is going to be the challenge, isn't it, this one? So let's have a look. Let's add a little bit of that very, very lightly, just to establish a backdrop that's not totally white. There you go, that'll do. And that one's using warm grey 2. Okay, and then we'll take our cold grey too, and we'll do this over the top. So what I'm going to do now, first of all, let's just get a little bit of grey in those diamonds. Let's just get it started. Let's have a look, sorry. So we'll just get a little bit of grey in there just to get it started, otherwise we will be here all day. Okay. So this is nice. Let's just do the back. Right, okay. We can always add a bit more in a minute. So I haven't done the head on this one yet, building up to that, because I thought, oh, I want to get a bit of stippling going. Right, now, grey, and what we're going to do is this. That's it. It's not that. It's up, it's literally upright. The pencil's upright, and you hold it as tight to the edge as you can get, and then you've got more control. And you'll see, as you do this, look, if I do it too hard, it gets too random. But if I do it gently, you get a really nice light grey. If I do it with a really dark grey, just to show you. So you hold it upright. Let's see if we can see it better here. Right. And then we... And what you'll see is you get a lot of shading control. So if I'm doing a line now, even though there's no line, I can create a line. Look. So that when I see how I can create a line with dots. And that's really what we're doing here. We're going to take our dots, but we're going to start with a light grey. I think that's the key here. It's almost barely visible when you start with a light grey, but it sets the scene for the darker grey. And what I'm doing is I'm going on, not on the diamonds, I'm going around the diamonds. Okay, so just dot, 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 dot. It's certainly a lesson in focusing, because you want to stay within the lines, and it makes you stay with the pencil. You can't really be wandering off with your head when you're doing this, really not. I find that with all shading though, don't you? So when did we do this? We did it with the owls, didn't we? And we also did it with the cockerels. Right, so now we've done a little bit of the light grey on the back, around the back of the diamonds. Looks good, getting there. That takes time. Hours. You know, without wanting to harp on to this cat again, this beautiful, immaculate, fantastic artwork that yesterday that I saw. I bet it took a while, you know. I think that's something you got to know. I bet it took a long time to create that artwork. A long time. So if we're prepared to invest that kind of time in this, but it's not, for me, it's more about, I haven't got the time, really not. I've got, this is what I'm on now, warm grey 4. But I would rather master this and get it really lovely, this area, and then whiz through it and finish the whole eagle, you know, and then sorted, done the eagle, but didn't actually learn much or enjoy it because I was just too busy thinking about finishing it, you know. So sometimes it's better just to let go and say, doesn't matter if I don't finish it. What counts is that I really like the bit I did do. Like, I really like the face, I really like the eye, I really like the wing, I really like the... Doesn't matter if we don't finish it. What's important is that we really get into the bit that we are doing. See, now with the dots, the dot, I could come up now into the head a little bit. I wonder if that would look good. I bet it would. What's the time? Doing all right. Yeah, so it really is a lesson in slowing down. Because what, you know, your tendency is to say, oh, like a pneumatic drill, isn't it? But I don't think that's the solution. Do you know that? Let's have a look. If we just take a little bit of shadow underneath those as well now, just gently with the same colour around the edge of those. So we've done our... Yeah, look, this looks good. Yeah, that's it. This completely changes the texture. Somebody else put an amazing video on Facebook of an immature eagle, a little eagle that was being released. And Dave and I watched it, and it came out of the cage, but it was the way the wings all folded. It was the mechanics before the eagle took off. It was incredible the way the wings kind of they kind of folded in and then they went to the back. It was just exquisite, and we watched that bit over and over again just to see how the wings moved in. It's just crazy. If you haven't seen it, have a look on Facebook. It was on Clarity Worldwide. Just spectacular. So you see, we're just adding stipple on stipple, but it completely changes the look. Completely. It's so more mottled. Obviously it's going to be, and it's you can still add a little bit of shadow with your pencil, and we can mottle. Look, we're going to mottle the feathers as well, but perhaps we'll just stay on one side to get a bit of... We can always just stay on one side and it will add shadow. We're going to add a shadow but with dots. Yeah, see? Around here. And we're going to use different layers of grey to do this. Start with a light colour and then build up. And you can do a little bit of shading under there. Core. And then keep on this side. And does it take a long time? It takes as long as it takes. And it takes as long as it takes to get the result that you want. We're not going to finish this week, I don't think, unless you do loads after our hours or our half hours. But I have a hankering to finish it. I want to finish it and put it outside my front door. So I've got a few years. I've got a few years before it's got to be done. Oh dear. Who thought of that one, eh? Right, doesn't that look cool? Let's have a look up close and see what we accomplished, shall we? See if it worked. See if you can see the stippling. And then tomorrow we'll have a really good look at the stippling Right, let me get in really tight, see if I can hold it straight for you. Can you see that? So it's going to take a little while yet. I'm not quite finished. But I think that it changes the back. And I'm going to do the same in this area here. I think I'm going to do the... If you get a chance, tomorrow's already Thursday. If you get a chance, if you don't worry. We can do this together tomorrow, if you like. See if you finish this one and this one. Do those two if you get a chance. If not, it doesn't matter. Do you know what actually looks really nice is if you, let me show you, if I hold it like this, this looks really nice when it's not completely finished all the way to the edge, so that it's dark here and then it fades. Same here, it fades at the bottom rather than completely coloured in. That might actually look really nice. Maybe on this one here, I'll let it fade away. So it looks quite good, doesn't it? Yeah. Because I wouldn't mind trying the background with you. So what have we got? Thursday and Friday. Okay. I wouldn't mind trying the background. I haven't worked out what we're doing with it yet, but I reckon it'll be fun. I will work it out. I will work it out. So there you go. I threw myself at the beginning of this one thinking about the blinking cat. It's all right. It's all right. I think it's called empathy with everybody. You know, it's a common... It's birds of a feather and all that stuff, isn't it? Birds of a feather, okay? But, so, tomorrow, let me think. Tomorrow it's Thursday. Let me just get the times right on this, because I think tomorrow we've only got half an hour because I've got the... Yes. So tomorrow we're going to meet at 10 o'clock. But we're only going to do till 10:30 because then I've got to do a left arm sweep, get rid of this lot, and I've got the 11 o'clock Pergamano show with fabulous snowflakes. So if you've recovered from the snowflakes from last week, then you might really enjoy the Pergamano show tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and then Paul's on at 3 o'clock. So I'll see you tomorrow here at 10 o'clock, and we'll get into that third eagle. The third eagle. I think we'll get into this one, that one there, okay? And then on Friday we'll have a look at the background, and then I think that will be it. So take care, and don't forget, fantastic, fabulous, amazing, we are. Lots of love. Bye bye now, and thanks, Stuart.